Hi, welcome to ABC's Airways for Breitweiser Connections. My name is Amy Breitweiser. I'm glad that you're here with me today. I want to take a couple moments here and just thank those who support me, because without them I wouldn't be here today, and I just want to pray a blessing over them and thank them for all that they have done for me. And these video blogs that I do is I like to take a topic, a timely topic, dissect it, define it, that sort of thing, and then kind of put the twist of my experience, strength, and hope. So that way then we'll leave here, if there's a topic that you need some hope in, some ideas to strengthen on, you'll be able to do that, walk away with. Or if it's a strength, then you can walk away with even more confidence that the things that you're doing, you can have more confidence in walking in those areas. Today's topic that I looked up, that I found quite interesting too, is following directions. Now, when I first began looking into it, I kind of thought, this is kind of the most boringest topic I think I could probably have ever chosen. Yet, it turned out to be the most intriguing in the end, and I think you'll find that as we go on. My first attack on this, I suppose I want to put it that way, is I looked at a bunch of YouTube videos, and they were like speech therapists teaching parents, or a teacher helping with behavioral therapy, and working with adults of how do you help your children follow directions? How do you teach them to basically obey and be happy about it? And one of the things with watching all of those videos is that I noticed is that when a child did listen and follow the directive, they were very dramatic. And I always needed lots of dramatics. So I mean, I really honed in on that. I'm like, man, I probably would have learned how to follow directions and not been so rebellious had I had, parents that might have been like really dramatic with me. But I didn't, and that doesn't mean my parents didn't love me. Don't get me wrong when I say that. By any means, my parents loved me deeply. I just didn't. Sometimes I didn't always feel it, and I'm sure they feel the same way with me in the reverse fashion. But I know that if I got rejected, if I felt rejected, I would rebel, and I would do the exact opposite of what I was told to do. And so and it started at an early age, like 5 years old. My parents were running late picking me up. I was always told, go across the street. That's where the babysitter is. That's what I normally did after school every day, is walk across the street to the babysitter. But I was supposed to be picked up that day by my parents because they were off from work. And I just decided, I'm like, well, you're not going to come pick me up, then I'm going to walk across town and go to Grandma's house. Of course, Grandma wasn't even home, I find out. My memory is a little vague on that, and was just having a conversation with my mom about that recently. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't even realize Grandma wasn't even home. I had it so stuck in my head that that's who I was on my way. As I continued looking up the words of direction, I came across in the definitions that direction is the exact same thing as guidance. They're synonyms, and how they're defined in a couple of the different places. And I put a couple different definitions together, like Webipedia, and then there's another, like I can't remember that. It starts with an M. Dictionary. I kind of put them together. Guidance is an act or process of guiding. It's an option suggesting a wise or proper course of action. Direction is also an action of directing, pointing something or looking towards. So it's an act or an activity of looking after or making decisions about something. Us as adults, when we're driving a car and we come up to a stoplight, our directive is we can follow that stoplight. So if it's green, we're gonna go through it. If it's yellow, are we gonna start slowing down, or we're gonna go really fast like the Alien and Starman, if any of you have seen that movie? I'd highly suggest it, even though it's an older movie. It's really funny. And then, or we're gonna follow a directive of the red light and we're actually gonna stop our car. Well, hopefully we are, because we don't want an accident. I guarantee you nobody on the road wants to have an accident. And so, you know, and so we're gonna be following those directions as best we can. Another thing that I found that was interesting with guidance and direction is that when we're a kid, we don't always think that when we get a guidance directive or a direction instruction from our parents, that it's very loving. But in retrospect, it is very loving, because let's say usually it's because of the way that it's been brought across, and let me or said or brought presentation, that's what I want to say, how it's presented to us. You know, if I'm 3 years old and I go to touch the stove and it's hot and my mom or dad slaps my hand, I'm going to get a little, well, how do you do that? You know, maybe even whimper a little bit. And I think, man, you're not loving. But is it not loving? Do you really, as a parent, do you really want your child's hand to get hurt? No, it's directive. Don't touch that. Whack it away, because they don't want us to get burnt. You know, and it's dramatic. When we realize that directions and guidance that's been given to us, when it is based out of love, and you know that it's love, guess what? When you are the person giving the directive, so maybe I become a boss at Burger King, and some people don't want to follow my directive because I hadn't learned yet that how can I be loving in giving a directive, because I wasn't even receiving direction, because I was still really rebellious, doing my own thing, how I wanted to do it when I wanted to do it. And you know, that doesn't always work so well for me, or it didn't for me, I guess I should say. And so when I began to, you know, have a mentor and they gave me some directives, and I began to realize that when they were giving me a directive, I didn't need to get so violently angry. I mean, violently angry for me is in my head get really mad, and I might go home and throw my pillow across the room. I mean, I'm not a violent person. Once in a while my mouth can run off. Other people, you may have experienced actual violence because people can't follow that directive, and that's not where I'm going with that. But when I learned that the directions that I was given, or the guidance I was given, was out of love, and I could receive it, and I began to just do what I was asked to do, I found that then when I was in situations at work and I could ask somebody to do something, it was out of love, and it changed my whole entire life. It changed the way I interacted with people. My relationships began to be more in depth and highly. It's like they weren't seeing me as this bossy brat of a person that they had to work with, or, you know, or any of that sort of thing. Even if I asked my husband to go pick up something, he's just wanting to do it, knowing that I'm not trying to be bossy and that it has to be my way. I mean, there's moments in time that, yeah, I want to be controlling. I think we all want to control, and so it becomes, but that's not based out of love, and it's not as healthy, and it's not as good in keeping up good communications and good relationships up. And so when I let go of the control, and I don't need the control, it's just, we're working together on a project, and we have the same end goal. We all want to be loved. I mean, it's just like we're given in the Bible, it gives us the Old Testament, it gives us the 10 Commandments. Well, the 10 Commandments then turned into 613, is it, or 33? Pretty soon we don't even know all of the rules and things like that. Then we get into the New Covenant, into the New Testament, and we're given 2 basic things, and it's all about love. Love God, and then above all other gods, or, you know, with all your heart, mind, and soul, and then love your neighbor as you love yourself. And if I'm truly loving myself and I'm getting a directive, Whether I like it or not, if I can believe and know that that directive is out of love, then I can give love back. So I thank you for being with me today. I hope that as you leave here, you look at directions to whatever you end up doing that is based out of love. And when things are based out of love, it doesn't need to be dramatic, so that way then the person gets lots and lots of attention. Sometimes it's really great to get it. I did lots of things throughout my life for attention. But we don't always need that, but we do need love. I pray that you are able to love today. Give a great, kind, loving hug to whomever you are around today. And God bless you.